Morning everyone. Yes, it's raining, proper chucking down. It's raining, yes. I'm not mad. These are all my little cuttings. They're in a gravel tray that's got no holes in the bottom. So they're in danger of drowning. So I'm just swapping them to a to a holy tray. Wow, that's been a lot of rain. Wow. Yeah, it's all my cuttings. Look how they're dripping. Good. Glad to get down here and get that done. That's not the only reason I came down here though today. I'm not that much of a dedicated gardener. Right, let's get in the shed. Proper good morning to you. Yes, I'm not such a dedicated gardener that I'll come all the way here just to swap a tray out. This is my equivalent of going to this supermarket on a Saturday morning, or the greengrocers. I've come to get food. Oh, I want some good. I've been absolutely getting through tons of onions with doing the with making the tomato sauce. I was thinking about it last night because this is the first time I've done tomato sauce this year, as in previous years I freeze or bottle the tomatoes plain and then add things later on. So I was thinking to myself, when I'm cooking with the tomato sauce later on, don't add any more onion, it's already got onions in it. And my onions, I have the equivalent of about 1.5 white per week and 1.5 red per week. So if I'm using those all up in the sauces, there'll be nothing later in the year. So, I need to sit down actually. My back's a bit cronky still. Hang on a tick. That's better. It's like normality has resumed. So, I've got my onions. Oh, garlic. Oh, I'm just going to grab that now, even as I speak to you, because I will forget otherwise. Just another handful. Yeah, I think that will do both for sauce making and for cooking this week. I'm using the lovely bag that Catherine's mum knitted for me. Yeah, I just thought we'd do something a little bit different today. I don't know how it's going to go, I don't know how far we'll get, but I thought I'd just it's going to be very choppy, but I thought I'd just bring you along with me for a whole day, see what I get up to. So it's about 10:30. So this morning I've been on the computer. I've still got a couple of messages to reply to, but one of the things I did this morning was edit a video for this evening. So the edit it took about 45 minutes, partly because I pressed a button wrong at one point and had to start again. That's what I hate about tech. So that's now saving, and it will take about 2 hours to save. There was a momentary reprieve in the weather in that the rain stopped, so I thought, great, I had to go to the post office to send a parcel from something ordered from my shop. Brilliant, while I'm out, do the post office, come to the garden, do my grocery shop for the week, not really, get back home. I've got all sorts of things to get on with this afternoon, and then later on there'll be some preserving. I need to do the peppers, So I thought, yeah, I'll just bring you along with me so you can see what I get up to on a day when I'm not in the garden. So the next thing I need to do, like I say, this might be a bit of a bit too choppy of a video. We'll see. We'll give it a go. But now the rain's really coming down. I've only come out in my hoodie. I'm going to go out there now to harvest some more tomatoes. The great thing about making this pasta sauce, really great thing about it is, it takes ages. It takes, with, I would say, the prep and the chopping, plus the cooking time. It's about an hour and 3/4, which is a big chunk of time. But of course, most of that, an hour and a half, they're in the oven. I don't need to do anything. So it then frees me up to do something else. So for the sake of, you know, finding that sort of 15-20 minute window to do the veg prep, I thought, yeah, let's grab a load more tomatoes today. I get another couple of pans roasted, and while that's happening, I'll do something else. I've kind of got a list in my head. We'll see how far we get today. Right. Time to go out in the rain, whoopla, with my basket. No cats today. Fair weather friends. Are you cosy down there? Oh, quick harvest. I don't want to hang around too long. That'll do for another quick pick. Good. That's a nice little pick. I'm glad I've got them because some of them were getting a bit splitty. And actually, it looks like there's a break in the rain again. So, granny trolley is getting filled with, these have been brought back from home. So these are the paper bags I love to do my sort of harvesting, drying stuff in. That was another couple of bags of lavender completed yesterday. It takes about an hour to process one of these bags. So they can come back ready for another harvest. Tomatoes are in, onions, garlic are in. I have to say it out loud, otherwise I forget things. And I think I'm going to have another couple of bags of lavender away. Where I've strung them up, this string doesn't get thrown away, obviously. Oh, and Poppy's just turned up. I feel like I'm a bit hurry today, just because I'm aware there are quite a few things I want to try to get done. Pop that in. But no matter how much of a hurry I am, I'll always have time for a little bit of a kitty cuddle. Right, now the other thing is, on the way here, just, half an hour ago, whatever, just before I went into the post office, I spied a really good stack of cardboard, and it's in a sheltered place, so hopefully it hasn't got wet. So on my way home now, I'm going to try and scavenge that. Oh, itchy nose, the minute cats appear. Yeah, I'll try and scavenge it, because obviously as we head into the late autumn and winter, as I now start to empty the beds, I want to get them covered. So yeah, a good stash of cardboard spied. I'll grab it. I'll probably take it upstairs to the flat to get all the tape off. Yes, we'll see. Anyway, time to head home. I'll catch up with you back at the cottage in the sky. Home, a little damp, a little puffed because it's a slight hill to come up. My knees. But I'm also puffed because I've already been to the top of my flat and back down because, let me show you, so exciting. See this big box of cardboard? I've just managed to score a couple of these. So I've just run the first lot up to the flat. I say run, that's a lie, I didn't run them up. Drag them up. Oh, put the light back on, it's on a timer. Also this, I was mentioning the other day, waiting for a parcel. It finally came, yay! I haven't managed to get it up to the flat yet though because it weighs 10 kilos. It's all fabric scraps. So I think what I'll have to do is decant it into 2. So that's 1, 2, 3 trips. And then of course, there's my granny trolley bulging. Oh yes, that's a problem I need to deal with, damp. Yeah, get that upstairs as well. But this is what kills me each day. Stairs, 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 stairs. Oh, the light's gone out to a half landing. And they keep winding up and winding up and winding up. There are 60 stairs to do. So I'm going to get the granny trolley up now. Have a breather. Come and get this lot. Have a breather. Come start in on this lot. All right, everyone. See you at the top. I'm so puffed. Almost there. This little flight to go. Another half landing. And then this last flight. All the way up to my place. Oh, that's another job I need to do. Can you see? That's all new plaster work. From where the new skylight went in. The roof failed completely about, was it 4 years ago? So I had to have the whole roof replaced. And this skylight had been a really lovely old Victorian one, but it's completely rotten and unsafe. So this new one went in, and all the plasterwork around it. So I need to get on and paint all that. Goodness knows when. That's for another day. Right, come on. Last few steps. Last few steps. Bump, 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 bump goes the granny trolley. Oh, little breather on the half landing. See you indoors. Phew. Well, that's the cardboard up. I'm actually going to leave the parcel of fabrics down there for now. It's not too wide. I'll do it later in a couple of sessions. I've got a bit of a rule in this house. If you're sitting down, you jolly well better still be working. So, just while I get my breath back and just while I sort of rest my knees for half an hour or so, I'm going to carry on with my lavender processing. Another bag of lavender to do. I'd ideally like to get these all done in the next, realistically in the next 2 weeks, because I need to get sewing, I need to get these lavender bags in the shop and ready for sale for Christmas, etc, etc. So yeah, if you're in my house and you're sitting down, you better be doing something. There's no sitting doing nothing. Now some of you may think, why on earth have you brought all that cardboard up? Because I've brought it all the way up to the flat and I'm going to be taking it all the way down again. The fact is, there's far too much in one go to take to the garden. Each, excuse me, each of those, the 2 boxes full, and I know from previous experience, because I get my cardboard from the same place all the time, each of those 2 boxes, each box represents about 3 granny trolleys full, loads full, to take back to the garden. So that's about 6 trips worth. Now, I can't do all that. I'm not going to do all that today. I'm not going to go backwards and forwards 6 times. That would kill my knees. Likewise, I'm not leaving it downstairs in the hall because I share that hallway with my 2 downstairs neighbours. So yes, it comes up here. But also that means that, you know, for instance, at the moment we've got a lot of rain. So I'm not in the garden particularly. By the way, did you enjoy when you were in the garden with me when I was harvesting tomatoes? You were under my gorgeous Wimbledon brolly, my big Wimbledon brolly that Richard and Paul gave me. Yay! Yeah, it's one of those things. It's having them up here. There's no hurry to do them because I haven't cleared the beds yet. But having them up here means that on occasions like now, when I need to sit down and rest my knees, I've got something to do, something productive to do. Yes, I am slightly obsessed with productivity, but you know, I kind of have to be because, well, I don't have to be, well, I sort of do, you know, it's all about, I've said it before on a number of occasions, you know, I do this on my own, I do it as frugally as possible. Being frugal generally means you're not spending money, but you're spending time. You know, it would be so easy to spend a ton of money to buy covers for the garden. Just buy them, have them delivered, boom, out they go, done. But it's money, isn't it? And one of the things I've tried to say all along with my garden is that for others of you out there who are on low income, some people on no income, some people on quite a low fixed income, pensions, that sort of thing. There's lots of us out there who don't have the kind of money to chuck at the garden, and we don't have sponsorship from suppliers who give us, you know, lovely things left, right and centre. So yeah, doing it the frugal way does mean that it takes up time, but it's satisfying. It's really satisfying. When all that cardboard does go onto the garden, you know, I'll have that momentary memory of dragging it up here, stripping all the tape off it, and what have you, and I'll feel proud and satisfied with myself that I did it. Yeah, so there we go. This will, oh, got a bit down my throat then. This little lot now, this will probably take me about half an hour. I started this bag this morning. I've already done half of it, so I reckon it's about half an hour's worth to do here. Time's cracking on. It's going to be gone noon. And then I'll be in the kitchen for most of the afternoon. And that's another thing about having these sit-down jobs. At the moment, in some ways I prefer to stand because it's easier on my back. Oh, so stupid. But if I stand for any time, then my knees start to hurt. It's like, so it's really useful for me to have these various sit-down jobs like the lavender, stripping the cardboard boxes, that sort of thing. Because then I can do my stand-up jobs for as long as my knees will let me. And then when it comes to the point of thinking, oh no, they're really hurting, fine, do a sit-down job. You see, I do plan these things. It's not random chaos completely, my life. Feels like it at times. Anyway, right, let's leave you there for now, and then I'll crack on with this, and then in about half an hour or so, I will see you in the kitchen. Why didn't you put a kettle on? Someone put the kettle on. We need a brew. There's no beer in the house today. Cold damage. Yeah, someone put a brew on, please. I'll have a nice feisty peppermint to pep me up. Well, I'm cracking on. Have my little lavender session, and I've just, actually it's probably taken me a little longer than the 15 minutes I suggested earlier on, but am I empty of pepper? Oh, last few grains. Yeah, I thought, I wasn't planning to do things this way round today, but I thought Actually, let's just get these tomatoes dealt with and in the oven. Because as I was saying, once they're in, just get on with other stuff. And yeah, there's plenty to do. So, let's just give those a good smudge around. I mean, the colours, it's just absolutely ridiculous. When I was doing, when I was doing that pick today, obviously it was quick pick because of the rain. I mean, I'm not bothered about rain, you know, I'm not made of soap, I'm not going to dissolve. But obviously, you know, it's one of those things where I want to get the pick done, get home, get stuck into everything that needs doing. Looking at it, there's quite a lot of green fruit, and quite a lot of a sort of, you know, that sort of pale, pathetic, insipid, sort of orangey pink. So I think, oh, ow, good, very. I think what I'll do, I'm in no hurry with the weather. We've got another few days of rain to go. But then when I do get back to the garden, I think I'm probably just going to harvest everything that's left. Some of them will ripen, great. Any that don't, yeah, no problem. Right, next job, I need some dishes. How many varieties? 3 varieties of peppers. Therefore 3 dishes, because I'm about to, I'm going to prep all the peppers for storage now. They're in the fridge and they're such a beautiful sight. Now, I have been using some intermittently as the summer's gone. Oh, well, as the late summer, I've been using a few. Isn't that a beautiful sight? It's not a huge harvest this year. Actually, the paprikas are good. So, yeah, like I said, I've been using, it's my scraps bin for my compost. What am I trying to say? Just concentrate, Vivi. This is so weird because I know it's like my body is about to do what it needs to do. What I'm doing, first of all, is I'm selecting one of each breed, as it were, one of each variety for seed saving, and then the rest, I literally will just chop them all up, whack them in the colander for now. They'll all get mixed in together. I quite like that mix of flavours, tastes. Then once I've got them all chopped, I can divvy them out into portions for eating. Gosh, I'm having to think today. Right, now in terms of seed saving, I need a bit of paper. It really, really couldn't be more simple. So I'm going to have orange bell. Obviously I'm going to label them and keep them all separate because they do look very similar. You know, with some of our bean seed saving, Feher Ozen, it's very obvious, isn't it, which ones are which. But even with my beans, I label them because there are some which do look similar. And that is my du long. A word on the du long peppers. These are my lovely French ones. They come from the southwest of France, the Basque region. If you're wanting to buy seeds, check a video back where I was harvesting them, and on the description below you'll see the names spelled out. I know I can be a bit naughty about forgetting to give you that sort of information written, and obviously a lot of my seeds are French, so the name isn't necessarily going to ring a bell. Okay, so with the du long de land, sorry, what I'm trying to say is, if you're looking for seeds, you will sometimes see them described as, I've forgotten to put the timer on, du long de land, or sometimes do très long de londe, very long. Do, sweet, long, de londe, of londe. So all I do for my seed saving, just top-tailed it a little bit, slit it down the side, open it up like that, and then just as you would for cooking, when you run your knife down, I'll show you when I've done it, I picked the trickiest one to show you. When you sort of run your knife down the ribs on the inside of the pepper to remove the seeds before cooking, and they come off like this. So I'll just put them in the plate. Literally, they will just air dry. I don't do anything else with them. I don't wash them, I don't ferment them. It really, really could not be easier. So, what time have they gone in? They've gone in about 12:30. So 12:30, 1:30, 2. It's about 1:15. I want to swap my trays around. Yeah, honestly, it couldn't be simpler. So let me just show you. So it might be easier to show you with the orange bell. Just going to cut its head off. Shall I tip you down? Let me tip you down a second. Let me bring you in and tip you down. There we go. Sorry, I'm woman handling you again, aren't I? So, let's cut its head off. And then, exactly as you would for cooking, I'm just going to cut through those little ribs. This is orange bell Vivi. I've cut all around, just pull that out. It's a little tower of beautiful seeds. And simply, like I said, sit it on this little dish where it will just simply air dry. Of course, we don't waste any. So all around the top, around the stalk, choppity chop, compost, first handful done, spare seed, don't waste any, and then just the same with the for her ozen, the paprika pepper, cut around the ribs, pull out little, whoops, lost a couple. Actually, let me just pop that down straight away because I've lost a couple and they're precious. The great thing about peppers, you do get quite a lot of seeds. So, you know, even if you've only got one decent fruit to save from, that should give you enough seed for next year. So very simply, and with my other one as well, these will now go and, I was going to say, they'll go and sit in the front window to air dry in the sunshine, except that window is full of stuff already, which reminds me I need to do a rejig of the front window this afternoon. Some seeds are ready to go into packets because just behind you, I always need to get on with these as well. It's more tomato seed saving. That'll be in a minute, but for now, let me just, oh sorry lovelies, let me just have you back up where I can see you. Yeah, for now I need to crack on with this lot and I'm going to get these chopped, and I'm going to go out and find my phone in a second so I can set the timer. What did I say? 1:15 to swap. 1:15. 1:15. You know what, I better do that now before I forget. And also crack through all these peppers, get them divvied out. Where's my little things that are under here? Oh, I'm getting short of storage. Sorry, crash bang wallet. Get them divvied out into these. I know I go on about these little tray things. It's like takeaway trays. I know I've gone on about them, but they're so handy because it's a perfect portion for cooking for 4, for example, if you're adding them to other things. If that's a thing of soup, that's a perfect portion of one portion of soup for me. So when I'm doing a batch cook and I make a load of curries, a load of soups, divvy them out into those individual portions, brilliant. But also they stack fantastically in the freezer. So yeah, really, really like them. I'll get all of these chopped first before I even think about divvying them out. And also I'm not chopping them beautifully, just roughly of a similar size, so that when I come to cook, they're all of a similar size, so they will cook at a similar rate. Oh, I was supposed to be going and getting my phone, wasn't I, to set the timer? Right. I really am going to do that. I'm going to turn you all off for a minute whilst I go and sort out that timer, because it's one of those days, if I don't set the timer, I will forget. I will be reminded by the smell. I love a bit of perfect timing. I've just finished doing the peppers, so all chopped, divvied out. It's worked out at about 10 portions, those little trays. That's about 2 and a bit peppers in each one. So it's perfect if I'm having one of my sort of like a marathon cooking day. Get one of those portions out. A handful, half it can go into if I'm making a curry, and the other half can go into if I'm making a soup. If I only want one portion, I just grab a handful out, put them back in. But yeah, delighted to get all that done. And I just put those all into the freezer when, if you remember this morning in the garden, I was saying how I'd edited a video and I was waiting for it to render. It went ping, it finished rendering just at that moment too, which is great. So what that means now is that video I can upload to YouTube, which will probably also take a couple of hours. I've got quite slow internet here, which is one of the reasons I don't ever do a live thingy. But yeah, that's now doing its process with YouTube. When it's done in a couple of hours, I will then go into the YouTube bit and do the final bits of editing. There are little kind of things, jiggles to make. So that's all underway. Then my timer went off. So I've swapped my 2 trays of tomatoes, brilliant, reset the timer to remind me when to get them out. The smell is lovely. So now it's time to do a little bit of another little sit down job, because I don't know, these knees, they get so cross with me in 5 minutes. So I need to do this job anyway to free up space for the next job I'm going to do once this is done. So the light is going to, oh, don't tip those up, Vivi. Bleach this out somewhat, but yeah, it's because it's a white cloth. These are my 3 types of tomatoes and my cucumber seeds that I don't know when I did them now, but they all had their ferment. They were then rinsed and left on the cloth to dry. They're absolutely bone dry. Plus I've got a little lid of, this is a Calendula Seed, and they're really quite pale. You can see they're normally quite a dark brown Calendula Seed, but this is from one very specific flower that I'm saving for Paul, because it's like a sort of double petalled one. I don't know if there's an official name for that. Yeah, and masses of petals, really fluff, almost like a little pom-pom, and this lovely sort of buttery yellow colour. So they're saved for him, and because I'm saving for someone else, you'll notice there's no rubbish in there. It's just a seed. If I'm saving for someone else, I do make the effort to sort the wheat from the chaff. I do that with some of my own as well, but then I get to the stage where I can't be bothered, chuck it all in together. Just make sure when I sow that I do everything. Also, I've got, these are some sweet peas I saved. I had a photograph of them on Facebook. I don't know if it's going to show or pick up. Let me see. Can you see that little white nub in there? Let me turn it. Oh, there you go, in the light. It's that little white nub in. Someone was asking if they were sprouting. I thought, oh, are they? No, they're not sprouting. It's just the little dry nubbin from, into my right hand, it's easier. what you might call their little umbilical cord. So where they were attached to the, I've just dropped one, where they were attached to the pod, to their mama. Let me just grab that one, waste not, want not. Yeah, is there a name for that on seeds? Do seeds have an umbilical cord? I mean, it's, you know, it's the same principle, isn't it? It's life from the mother plant. I'm having to use sellotape because all these little seed packets, this is like dinner money packets. I bought a load of them, and the sticky is no longer working, which is not what you want with seeds. Calendula for Paul 2020. Yeah, especially with things like tomatoes where the seeds, I mean, they all look so similar. The Rose de Bain seeds are slightly darker than all the others, but even so, if these all tipped out into my seed tin, I wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo, which is which. I mean, I would know that that's a tomato. Or, for example, like I was just doing the peppers earlier, I would know it's pepper. Which variety? I wouldn't have a clue. So yeah, I'm having to use sellotape, which is a bit annoying. Slightly fiddly job now. Cukes 2020. I only grow one variety of cukes, so I don't need to worry about naming it. Yeah, slightly fiddly job now to get them all off the cloth, because they do stick a little bit. Not so much with the cucumbers, but definitely with the tomatoes. And what I don't want to do, as I'm trying to scrape them off, is accidentally ping them into the different pile and end up with, oh, that's an Amish paste, not a gardener's delight. It really is an amazing time of year, isn't it? It is exhausting, it's busy, it's non-stop. But wow, aren't we lucky? You know, we're in this situation where we're spending hours in the kitchen storing and preserving our produce. How wonderful. We're spending a goodly few hours saving seeds, cleaning seeds, labelling them, packaging them up, whatever it is. Aren't we lucky? It's kind of like I was saying a little bit earlier about, you know, I wonder if I would live differently if I was rich. I mean, I don't know how I'll be rich, but, you know, let's just say for a minute, I won the lottery. I'm not talking like silly win, like 5 million, you know, £1,000 or something. Would I live differently? Would I behave differently? So, for example, this is my cucumber seed for next year. I originally bought their long maraîchère, long green maraîcher cucumbers, about 6 years ago, I think. I've never bought seeds since because I save my own. Now, organic seeds are a bit more than all the other seeds, aren't they? Maybe it was £3 for the packet. I've saved myself £3 for next year. That's £3 I don't have to spend. So that's the thing, isn't it? You think, oh, is it worth it? Is it worth all the faff and the fiddle? But actually, once you start to add up all the different seeds that I don't need to buy next year, I'm probably saving myself 40, 50 quid every year by saving my own seeds. And, you know, we get to do swaps. Because that's the other thing when we save our own, isn't it? Oh, back. You know, some of these sort of slightly special seeds, tomatoes, squash, whatever, you get a packet and you get 10 seeds in there. It's pathetic. I get one fruit, and from one fruit I get 50 seeds. Great. That's enough for me, and it's enough to share, do swapsies. So yeah, it's a ridiculously, bear with me a sec, gardener's delight 2020. It is time consuming, it is fiddly, it is that time of year when, you know, who's got time to sleep? None of us have got time to sleep. But we're doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for ourselves and saying, you know what, I don't need you with your fancy pants prices and your scary non-deliveries and your, all that stuff. Doing it for ourselves and doing it perfectly well, thank you very much. But by golly, when it gets into sort of mid-November or so, whoa, I'm going to sleep for a week. Actually, I think what I'd like to do is have a week. I might have to have like a marathon cooking session beforehand so that I don't have to do any cooking for a week. Because that takes time as well when you're cooking everything from scratch all the time. But yeah, maybe have a week where I've done all my cooking in advance. So I've got gorgeous food to eat for a whole week without having to think about it. And just spend a week lolling in bed, eating, oh, I pinged one, where did it go? Here. Eating gorgeous food and reading books. I'll get back to you about the books at some point. There's not been much time for reading recently, so I'm sort of stuck in the middle of a book at the moment. But yeah, I think that would be a really great thing to do by about the middle of November. After all this madness. Right, I'm going to carry on doing this. It's going to take ages because it's fiddly piddly. What's next after I've done this? Yes, then I can start. I can start on the next batch of tomato seeds, which have been fermenting for a few days and are sitting on the side in the kitchen. In a minute. I say in a minute. Slightly more than a minute. I love days like today. Bonkers. Oh, and do I need to add? You can probably guess anyway, but all the time I've been in the kitchen, I've had to turn it off because of just worrying about copyright infringements. But I am, of course, listening to Radio Roland Garros. I don't know if that's their jingle. I don't think they have a jingle. I haven't heard a jingle. But yeah, of course, whilst I'm in the kitchen doing all this, I've got Radio Roland Garros on, listening to some fantastically tight matches today. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. La vita è bella. Right. Did anyone make that cup of tea? I don't seem to have a cup of tea. Hop to it. Get that tea on the go. See you shortly. Good. All the seeds are done. I'm going to dive back in the kitchen in a second, and I've got a few more bits and bobs lined up on my desk for me to deal with this afternoon, including getting my mum's birthday card and Prezi wrapped and sent. But isn't this cute? I can show you her card. She doesn't watch my videos. Gardeners have the best time. Isn't that cute? But what I really liked is there's a little strip of sort of paper here holding the card and the envelope together, so that there's no plastic sleeve over the card, and it's the paper itself, it's recycled, and the inks are vegetable inks, so she can enjoy this card on her birthday. After she's finished enjoying it, she can tear it up and put it in her compost bin. Pretty much a zero waste card, apart from just this little seal. See, it says smart, what does it say? Smart seal, less waste, peel. So it's obviously a bit sticky, so it's not the sort of thing you'd want to put in the recycling. But that will be the only rubbish with the whole card. Anyway, that's to do later on. More kitchen time now. So I'm aware that this is in danger of turning into a marathon video. Look, some people will hate this kind of video, some people will really enjoy it. For those of you who hate, well, you'll realise by now you hate it, and hopefully you'll have turned off without doing a thumbs down, nasty comment, just walk away. But it is turning into a bit of a long one. So I think what I'm going to do is say, that's the end of part 1. So there we go, that's the morning and noon of my day, and in part 2 I shall carry on and bring you the afternoon and evening. It's what's the time? I'm squinting over there. It's fast approaching 2 o'clock. You know, been on the go since silly o'clock this morning. But actually, by sort of being on the go, it actually gives me energy. So I don't see any reason for stopping or slowing down yet. So yeah, like I said, I'll carry on in part deux, deuxième partie, French brain, Roland Garros. Okay, so for now, for today, cheerio. But I'll see you again soon, very soon, for part 2 of, I don't know, a day in the life of a frugal girl at harvest time. My goodness, isn't it marvellous? See you soon.